Welcome, my friends. This is a lower body workout to get them legs looking nice and feeling strong. I designed this specifically for you out there who wants to get a full lower body workout in with no equipment needed. We will be doing a circuit of exercises for 4 rounds. In each round, the version of the exercise will become more challenging. You always have the option to stay with the version from the previous round. If something is really challenging for you, don't let it discourage you. It's a great goal to be able to work up to that version of the exercise. We're going to start with some simple calf raises to warm up. Press firmly into your toes and raise your heels. Keep the knees straight, and we'll do 10 of these. Remember that your feet and your ankles are involved in almost everything you're doing, so calf raises can be an essential part of the warm-up. Now I'm going to turn and I'm going to move into leg swings. I can use the wall for assistance, and I'm just swinging my leg back and forth, just trying to loosen the hip and get all the muscles of the legs ready to work. Think about trying to let the hip really just relax here and just getting good motion of the leg. As we switch sides, we'll do 10 more. And I want to ask, how are you doing today? How are you doing right now? I think it's really important to check in with yourself before a workout, so then you can compare to how you're feeling during the workout and how you're feeling after the workout. In my opinion, your workout should make you feel good and empowered. So you can check in with yourself to make sure that those are the ways that you're feeling. And we're going to move into some squats. Move your feet about shoulder width distance apart, and we're going to squat the hips down as low as we can go. Notice that I let my knees track outward and do not let them collapse in. I place my hands in front of me to counterbalance my body, and I try to smoothly sit down as low as I can go. Now, if you have trouble getting your hips down below your knees, I want you to pause the video, go get some books, and place them under your heels. We've all probably done squats at some point in our life, but I want you to really focus on making these high quality squats. We're not rushing through these. Pretend that someone's filming you to put you in a YouTube video that thousands of people are going to see. Make it a form of art. And this will be our last rep, number 10. Check in and see, how does this 10th rep feel versus the first? It should feel deeper and stronger. Now, as always, if you need to fix your man bun, go ahead, and we're going to move into our next exercise, which is the hip hinge. The squat uses a lot of quad strength, and now we'll be switching the focus to the backside, the hamstrings and the glutes. Slightly bend the knees. Place your hands on the back of your head, and we'll bend the torso forward until we are parallel with the ground. Now drive the hips up and forward to finish the movement. We will do 10 of these, making sure that our back stays in a neutral position. We don't want to flex the spine. We also don't want to over exaggerate the arch. We want the spine to be neutral and strong. This will make the hips work as they should. And when you really dial in all of the alignment, you should feel the hamstrings and the glutes really driving this movement. The hip hinge will work that backside, and it might get you a nice booty, but it also will ensure that your hips and back are strong and you won't have back pain. So this will be our 10th rep. I like to just pause at the bottom for a few seconds, finish the movement, stretch it out, relax for a second. You can shake your body a little bit, see how you're feeling. And now we are going to move on to the ground. So I'm going to grab my socks and put them on, because you're going to need your heels to be able to slide on the ground. So any hard floor, carpet works great. Just as long as you're pretty much not in dirt or on cement, you will be able to do this. Lie down flat on your back, bend your knees, and dig the heels in. Now you're going to raise the hips up off the ground, and you're going to straighten one leg out at a time. Now you're going to slide the heel and make sure that you're pressing the heel down into the ground throughout this full movement. The other thing that's critical is that we keep the hips raised up. Do not let the hips fall down. You should be pushing them up towards the sky throughout the full movement. Now we're going to do 10 of these on each leg, and if you're anything like me, these start out, okay, these are no big deal, but by about halfway, the hamstrings start screaming at you. But guess what? I'm here for you. You're here for you. We're gonna do this together. So keep those hips raised up, slide that heel out until that leg's completely straight, and then pull that back. You can really press your shoulders firmly down into the ground. And last rep on each leg, and we got it. Whew. 10 on each leg. That is a lot. Go ahead and chill for a moment. At any time, if you want to pause the video and take a little bit more break, that is completely. I always tend to move a little fast between these exercises, and there's no shame in taking a break because we want you to be recovered and be able to do these movements with really high quality rather than rushing through things. And if you can't tell, I did a little freeze frame right here to give us a little more break. Tricks of the trade. It's time for the donkey kick. So start on your hands and knees. Get yourself very stable. Keeping the knee bent, you're going to lift the heel to the sky. Pause for a 1 to 2 count and back to the starting position. What I like to think about is letting the front side of the hip open up. That's going to cause the glute to work and that butt to really squeeze. Other than that, this movement's pretty straightforward. So as most things today, we're doing 10 reps. I'll pop back in and tell you when to switch. Ha, just kidding. Another thing I want to tell you is to keep some tension in your core muscles so your lower back doesn't extend too much. We want the movement to come from the hip and not the back. And we have our last rep. Squeeze that butt and relax. Okay, take a second before we switch sides. All right, so come on back down. We are going to hit this other hip, and by the time you hit 10 reps, you should feel a lot of fatigue in the side of the butt that we are working. So if you're not quite getting that much fatigue, then I recommend just doing a little bit longer of a pause. But most likely 10 reps with a 1 to 2 pause will get those glutes burning. And relax, chill out, or celebrate like I am right here. I'm super happy because we made it through the first round. Yes, that was round 1 done. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Do you have 3 more rounds left in you? Well, if you don't, that's okay. You can just do as many rounds that feels good to you. I want you to hop into a split stance position, like so. This is going to be a split squat. We're starting at the top. We're going to lower down right before the knee touches the ground. We pause for 1 to 2 seconds, then bring the knee all the way to the ground, then squat yourself back up. We're only going to do 6 of these because these are pretty intense, especially with the pause. I want you to keep tension in both legs equally, so the back leg works just as much as the front leg works. This is also going to be stretching your hip flexors, which is great to get a little flexibility work while we're strengthening the quads and glutes. This is the last rep. Hold, drop, squat yourself back up. Shake it off a little bit. These are hard. Let's go ahead and switch up our stance to work the other side. Now notice that I'm keeping my hips squared straight away. Okay, we don't want any twisting out of that back hip. So we lower down, pause before the knee touches, and then go ahead and touch that knee and squat yourself back up. The hip should be moving straight down, straight up. Let's hit 3 more reps. You got this. Yes, we did it. Awesome job. You can shake your legs out or don't, but I feel like my legs like to be shaked. Sometimes I like to kind of hit the muscles that have been working just to give them a little blood flow, I guess. I don't know if that's very scientific, but we're going to move back into our hip hinge. This time we're going to keep the knee locked out. We're going to put our arms overhead and we're going to try to get to that parallel position again. Now that your knees are locked out, you're going to feel a big stretch in those hamstrings. And for you guys that are really tight, you might not be able to make it to parallel, and that's okay. But that's our goal, to get that torso to parallel and to really reach our arms overhead like you're trying to reach out in front of you. And that was 5 reps. I'm going to do the next 5 reps facing you so you can see from this angle, and we'll speak soon. And last rep here. You guys know I always like to pause on the last rep. So we're going to hold for, oh man, there's a longer pause than I thought. Okay, maybe 5 seconds. Good. Up and relax. Awesome, guys. We made it through the hip hinge section. Now I'm going to throw my socks on and we're going to move back to those hamstrings. So you're going to get comfy on your back, and like I said, each variation is going to get stepped up as we go through the rounds. This one we're going to use both of our feet, and we're going to do the negative portion. You lift the hips up, you push the feet out, keeping your hips extended and high until your knees are straight. Then you can lower the hips down. Now these are going to be pretty intense. They're much harder than the first variation, and you might be able to guess what's coming in round 3. But for now, push those feet out, keep your hips up high, drive your shoulders into the ground, and just enjoy that hamstring pain that's going on right now. It's a good pain. We're working those hammies. A lot of the time, our hammies don't get worked. We sit on them all day long in the chair. They become stiff, they become weak. We need those hammies to work well, to make our hips work well, and to protect the knee as well. Last rep, and relax. You might just want to take a quick nap. And if you do, like I said, you can always hit pause. But I'm going to hop up here, and I thought I'd leave this in. This was quite funny. So Skittles the cat kind of getting in the way of the camera, you know. So I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to take you inside. I take him inside, but then I realize, oh, the door has to be left open for this other camera. So he literally just follows me right back out, and he's probably looking at me like, okay, dude, what was the point of that? And we move into the final exercise of the circuit, which is the glute work. And we're going to hit the side of the glute, which doesn't get trained enough. So this is a fire hydrant. Literally, we're in the same position as the donkey kick, but we're lifting the knee directly to our side instead of behind us. So as you do this, you should feel the side of your hip light up. And a good goal is to try to get your knee as high as your hip. Now we don't want to rotate too much. We want to keep the hips pretty square, and that's going to cause the glute muscle to work a lot more. So Skittles is kind of exploring the caves that are my legs and arms here. And as always, I like to pause for a 1 to 2 count to really tighten up that muscle. And we're doing 10 reps as usual. Beautifully done. Relax for a moment as we switch sides. How's this feeling for you? How much are you able to open up that knee? I find that this side of the hip muscle, which is called the glute medius, is a very important muscle for hip function and to protect the knee. But it's something that sometimes gets weak because we don't move our bodies side to side that often. So this movement is super, super important to keep your body healthy and functional. And that is 10 reps. Awesome job. I want you to rest. I want you to recover Focus on getting some deep breaths in. We are moving into this third round, and the third round is the most intense. After this third round, my hips and legs were feeling pretty toasted in the best way possible. Like they got just enough work to get stronger and to grow some muscle. I hope you enjoyed that workout, and I hope that your legs are a little bit sore tomorrow. This was only half of the workout. The full version is at StrengthSide Guided. The guided program is a library of follow-alongs just like this one for flexibility, strength, movement, meditation, all guided by me. I want to support you guys in using this chaotic time in the world to really get connected with your body and get your body in the best shape that it's been in. If it sounds right for you, head over to strengthside.com/guided, and I will see you soon.